No, it's good.
Okay.
All right, guys, what's going on? We're here. We're live. Welcome to a brand new Poker Live podcast. My name is Joey Gramone, aka Chicago Joey. Joined today by my globe in the background because I'm going to need it during this podcast. Because we're joined by a young Scottish Papacita. He is a online tournament player, a live tournament player. He also plays the greatest poker game in the world. That is the great game of Parliament Omaha PLO.
Sometimes I don't play well. Sometimes I play well. Yeah.
You don't play. You don't think you play what PLO well?
Sometimes I don't play well. Sometimes I play great. Yes, that's what happens sometimes. As I was talking to you before in the past, when you play good and you start losing big pots and you run badly, then a bit of tilt creeps in. Doesn't help the game. You end up playing pretty bad.
Yeah, we're definitely going to get into that in a little bit here. Guys, our guest today, his name is Ludovic Geilich, aka, Ludo, what are you known by? Are you known by Gravy Boat? Are you known by Ludovic Geilich? Are you, what's your main AKA?
Most of my friends just call me Ludo. But everyone that don't meet me for have met me for the first time, they'll usually just go Ludovic Geilich. That's Ludovic Geilich.
Okay, so Ludovic Geilich. Your Pokerstars screen name is Ludo V333, correct?
Yes, correct.
And you're one of the biggest all-time winners in the Hot 550, the $5.50 tournament on Pokerstars, and you're also the Big 11, one of the all-time biggest winners in the Big 11 we talked about earlier, right? That's correct, right?
No, that's not correct. No, I was definitely being sarcastic, but I wouldn't mind being a big winner in the Hot 5 and the Big 11.
Yeah, we were me and Ludo were talking about having on the podcast earlier this week. I'm like, Ludo, like what do most people know you as? He's like, well, I'm the biggest $5.50 the Big 550 winner of all time on Pokerstars, and I'm the crazy 11. I don't know what the fuck it's called, but the crazy $11 tournament too. So I'm like, all right, man, we'll go with that, and we'll see what people think about that. So
fair enough.
But yeah, Ludo is currently in Amsterdam right now. He's doing this in the Amsterdam hotel lobby, right? Is that true?
Yes.
All right, cool. So is that a good enough intro for yourself? How else would I leave something out or what?
That sounds about fine. Yeah. I'm just a live MTT player mainly.
Yeah, you have a lot of fun hands on YouTube, right? Like a lot of hands where you're doing bluffs and you're playing very aggressive. You're a very aggressive player, it seems like.
Yeah, the thing about London it was my first big buy-in. So when you've got all the chips, you feel as if you're unstoppable, and you make questionable plays and you just go for it because you've got so many chips that you think you can't lose. Basically, at the same time, there is a lot of thought process behind it, like selecting the players wisely, because you've got to make sure you pick opponents wisely. You don't want to be bluffing the wrong opponents. You want to be bluffing people who you think you could bluff. They're going to think twice about calling and possibly have sold a lot of action and kind of playing money scared. So that was a big factor in London for sure.
And London, that was that your first? That was something you won that one, right?
No, I came fourth in London, but I won one not that long before, which was a smaller buy-in. But it was like a UK IPT. It was like a festival around Europe, but mainly in the United Kingdom.
Oh, okay. So you got fourth in the London one. Honestly, all these things blend together to me, man. It's like all the tournaments, they all seem like the same fucking thing to me at this point in time because there's so many every year, and someone like I try to keep them straight. Even when I look at the winners, it's still hard for me to even know exactly which tournaments which and whatnot.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like a lot of people think you only ever remember the winners, but when you make a deep run like I did, and I just decided just to go for it, I think a lot of people remember me a lot more than the winner. Because I was obviously just playing in crazy style of poker, like just going for it. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It seemed also I'm not sure how it is in Europe. Do the EPTs get more coverage than something like the United Kingdom tournament series? The UK IPT?
Yeah, like EPTs only get coverage in Channel 4. to be honest, they used to do like 3 or 4 per season, and they've cut right down. And I think they only do like the big ones, like the PCA and Monte Carlo. But now, I think they're just showing you the final table of most of them, and the big ones like the PCA or Monte Carlo, they show you like 4 or 5 episodes. Where they'll show you day 1B, they'll show you day 2, day 3, day 4. So I think they're cutting down with budget. They're spending as less amount as possible to save money. As you know, I'm Aya. I'll just try to save every buck just now.
Right. Yeah, I'm surprised that Maya even does the PCA in the EPT EPT Monte Carlo events for 4 or 5 days anymore, because Maya is just trying to
clean up.
Right. Yeah. What's my little bro doing? But yeah, guys, we're on YouTube, we're on Twitch, and so Ludo is in a hotel. I don't think you can turn the light up. A couple people on Twitch are asking about the lighting. You can't turn the lighting up, right?
I don't know why. It was up a minute ago and then it just went down. Don't know why. I'm saying it was up before I was online, but the lighting keeps changing. Every time I do something with my laptop, it keeps just moving about and going up and down.
Oh yeah, sometimes what I've noticed on laptops, sometimes when you like have a bright browser open, it like shines bright on your face, and then when you have a dark browser open, it gets dark on your face.
Maybe that's what it was actually. But obviously I can't really change the cover of the laptop, or else I won't be able to see you. So
yeah, it looks fine for me, but I think mine's so bright because I have this lamp right here. I have this 2 monitors right here in my face, and I have this nice window where it's sunny out finally here. So, and it's, what is it, like 11 p.m. over there in Amsterdam right now? 10 p.m.
Yeah, it's 10 past 10. So there's not much light here apart from putting on a light. But I've not got much option.
No, it's all good, man. We'll go with this. So yeah, I actually, we met each other out in Los Angeles a couple of months ago. What was it? End of February, something like that. Yeah. And I got to say, do you remember some of the places we ended up at? We ended up at like a country music place. I don't know how.
It was kind of my bad, to be honest. I only had shorts on, which kind of forced us to go to certain places only. Do you not remember?
Oh, yeah, your outfit, right. It wasn't very GTO.
Yeah, it wasn't good, yeah, because I was expecting just to go to the basketball game, which I enjoyed, then just have a few drinks, then go home. But that wasn't the case, as it was never going to be the case. We're always going to move on and try and get to a nightclub. Yeah,
I think the plan normally is during that LAPC, everyone goes to one of the basketball games, and then everyone like congregates together and goes to the one place downtown. What the fuck? I can't remember the goddamn rooftop name. And then, but that place was full, so then we ended up in Hollywood somewhere at a country music place where there was like women allegedly dressed. I don't know. There may have been. You may have been. I don't know. You went and made a friend. You made a friend, and she was an interesting friend. I gotta say, I don't know. Did anything ever happen with that friend you made that night?
I can't remember what happened in the night, but I remember it was a good laugh. We had some good fun, that's for sure. But I can't remember. Like the girl, I don't know. Like she was hardly wearing anything.
She may have been a man, also.
She might have been a man, also. Yes, but we had some banter, that's for sure. But nothing else happened, of course. I was there. I was with you guys all night. She went away on her own. It was all good.
All right, I got to confirm that. Nothing I know happened, but I would. It's fun.
I know nothing happened. It just looked a bit sketchy, that's for sure.
Yeah, it was definitely a combination of the big girl grind and the lady boy grind. So it was but it seemed like you liked LA a lot.
Yeah, for sure. There's a bit of light coming in now.
No.
My friend beside me's decided to shine the light on me. I don't think it's going to make much of a difference. It will if you can keep it going. But let's not keep it going. It's going to be a bit irritating.
We'll see how long the light lasts. But yeah, also I posted a video. I'm actually going to write an article about this, put it on my site, One Poker Life. By the way, guys, I've been putting a lot of podcast recaps. I wrote about the JC Alvarado Olivier Busquet fight the other day on my website, onepokerlife.com. You'll be able to get all the replays, timestamps of podcasts, this podcast and future podcasts as well. And also iTunes if you want to find it on there. But no, that's my fucking train of thought. What the fuck was I even talking? What was I going with that one, man? Where was I going with that one, Ludo? What was I going to... Oh, the video that you were in. So the other day I posted on Twitter a video of a guy playing 2 hands, and it was you playing both of the PLO hands during a PLO live streamed.
It looks so bad, doesn't it? I'm saying when the only time you put the money in is when you're beat.
No,
that was the case.
no, that wasn't bad. Okay, I'm actually gonna play the video. I never do this, but I'm gonna play this video in here because the commentary in this video was some of the most laugh out loud commentary I've ever heard in my whole entire life. Because the guy,
it was by Alan Kessler, and Alan Kessler doesn't play Pot Limit Omaha. He kind of just done it as a favour for them because he was going to commentate the final table of the Texas Hold'em main event. So like he was there early doors. He decided to do the commentary for the PLO. I thought he'd done a reasonable job. The fact that he didn't play any PLO, he's never played PLO, so it wasn't the worst.
Yeah. I mean, no.
To be honest, I've not listened to all the commentary, but the hands that he done with me, couple of obviously what he talks about is like totally fucked up.
He called Jack. Okay, so the second hand, he called Jack 10 7-3 with Jack 10 7 of hearts, a strong call of a 5-bet pre-flop.
Oh yes, this is the thing that made me laugh. But he's just looking at the numbers and seeing the fact that he's even money near enough, and he's calling when he's getting like 2 or 3 to 1 or whatever it was. So he was like looking at the fact that he's putting in X amount when he's got X amount of percentage. He doesn't know that he's just lucky enough that this exact hand has actually got a chance because I haven't got him dominated in any sense.
Right.
Because I have no 10, no 7, no Jack, no 3 in my hand, and I've just got aces, bad aces. I think it was ace, 5 deuce, 2 spades. And all of a sudden his hand has got like 45% against my hand. But he's lucky to have 45% because I can have obviously king, queen, jack, 10, ace, king, queen, jack, all these hands that dominate his hand.
Right. And he has, when you think about the best case scenario for him in that situation, he has 45%. And at worst, he has, I mean, 30-something pop. I think 30-something. I actually run the numbers on this one. And then he's going to have to fold a bunch of flops. He's just going to make an incorrect fold on, I think, too. And, well, he might not. I mean, I guess that's debatable. But it seems like a very terrible play.
This was an interesting table because, in my personal opinion, like, I think he was the best player at the table. The fact that he knew the math side of the game and he knew how to get away from hands. So see when I flopped top set against him twice, the second time being ace 7-7.
Hey, why don't I play these two hands? We're actually going to talk about these hands. Let me play this video, okay? I want to play this video. So this is a video from a live stream cash game that took place in Iowa that I almost went to, but I was trying to work things out with my girlfriend. Shout out to my girlfriend, didn't work out with her, but I didn't go, and this is the kind of fun I missed out on. So I'm going to pick this up. We're going to pick this up at 2 minutes in. So I believe that Ludo 3 or 4 bet this hand pre-flop, and then Dustin Dirksen, who's actually an old school online PLO legend, called with king queen 10-7. If you guys can't see this, you're on iTunes watching. Ludo has ace 5-2 with ace 5 of spades, and Dirksen has king queen 10-7 with 3 diamonds, and the flop is ace jack 4 rainbow. So Ludo flops top set, and Dirksen flops a wrap, and the pot's 1.3K, and there is $3,800 behind. So I'm gonna play this.
This was a very interesting situation. I think I see bet this like, I don't know, like 95% of the time. And for this strange reason, I decided to check it back.
We're going to talk about that, Ludo. So we're going to play the first hand first, and then we're going to talk about it. So I'm going to play the hand for you guys. I'm going to see if I can get the mic by the commentary, and then let's go here.
I think flops is Dirksen flopped the wrap straight and backdoor diamonds, but he has 3 diamonds in his hand. Surprised that Geilich would check there and give him a free card, and Dirksen just turned the nuts. Now he has to check behind.
Now he has to check behind.
Yeah, this is so funny when he says now he has to check. So now everything, like, the commentator says he has to bet. I can't believe he's gave a free card. Then he says on the turn he has to check, and now I bet. So it just looks so bad.
This would not be a good time to bet.
I felt as if, like, against this player, it was perfect because he can still call me with worse for sure.
100 in on the flop.
Obviously, you're a good PLO player, so you're going to understand what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
and there's no pair, so
I think the only thing I should have done on the river was probably bet fold. But when you've got pot into pot, I think it's fine to just jam.
all in call.
Well, I want to raise. Sorry, it's all in.
And you said call.
He's all in. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I got the straight. Nice one.
Yeah, I'm surprised he would go all in there. I mean, it seemed pretty obvious that his opponent had the straight.
Pretty obvious.
Okay. All right. Let me stop the hand there. So, all right. So that's the hand. So, first of all, the commentary is one of the funniest coming over here. He said, "I'm surprised he would bet there." The pot ends up being $8,800, which seems like a massive fucking pot for 510. But getting into the actual hand, it's so funny when he says, "I'm surprised his opponent bet there." It was pretty obvious he had a straight when there's basically only one hand that beats you.
It wasn't obvious to me because I put the chips in.
Right, exactly. It was, but yeah, we can talk about the hand a little bit. So, I mean, I think the hand is a very, very standard hand because, I mean, it's standard in that when you 4-bet preflop, obviously, you're saying you have aces, and when the board comes ace jack 4, I mean, you're not, obviously, you don't want a king, you don't want to make the straight, but.
I'm saying this is an awkward situation here on the flop because if you've not got aces, you're probably always betting the flop, so you should continue betting the flop when you've got aces. But I felt as if in this occasion my hand was so strong at the fact that I had one of the backdoor nut flush draws, and I had the gut shot whale draw.
Yeah, the gut shot to straight, yeah.
Yeah, I'm saying like this is probably one of the only times that I never bet the flop here, and it was just strange. Like the only hand that can basically call me on the flop is some sort of ace jack type hand or ace queen king. Or ace king 10, ace queen 10 with a backdoor flush draw. And he specifically had a hand that I'm giving, obviously, a free card to that I shouldn't be giving a free card to, which was the wrap, the queen king 10 hand. And, like, it looks so silly because, like, obviously not a lot of Texas, even good Texas MTT players or cash game players, I'm saying, like, they obviously don't PLO. So when they're listening to the commentary and they're not that good at PLO, they're probably thinking this guy's absolutely butchered the hand.
Right.
The fact that the only time he bets is when he's behind, and the only time he shows all in is when he's behind, and the time that I'm in front I check. So it looks a bit bad, that's for sure. It looked pretty bad.
I mean, you know, it's funny. So when I posted this hand, I got a lot of comments and messages from people, and I immediately knew the fish by the ones that sent me the message was like, why didn't he bet the flop when he had top set, and why did he just let his opponent make a straight and get stacked? I was like, all right, well, I know you're a PLO fish. So yeah. It sort of was like a very easy tell. Because I mean, it's like it's a spot where you have so much money behind, and he's just gonna end up folding so much that you can let him push up to a weak 2 pair on the turn. You can let him turn a back door of some kind. You can let him. I mean,
this is the thing, Joey. Like, you know how to play PLO well. In hands, you've got to set it up stack wise. You either say to yourself, I've got enough chips in front of me to go bet jam. Or else you decide, I've got enough chips in front of me to check back, let him bluff 2 straights. Or if it comes an extremely bad card, obviously let him bet the turn and you can jam over the top. I'm saying there's ways of playing hands with the stack size in front of you. And I just felt in this particular hand, it was best to check back. If he checks the turn, I can bet 70% and then jam river for pot when I get a good run out. On this run out, it wasn't amazing, but only king 10 beats me. I would have been over the moon if I had ace king in my hand or ace 10 with one of the blockers, because I would have felt a lot more like 99% sure I'm going to, when I get called, I have the best hand. Obviously, once he snaps, I'm beat, obviously. But I'm saying, like, he's played his hand pretty well. He's only check called the turn and let me hang myself on the river. But I don't know if I can ever save money in this hand. I think it doesn't matter if I bet the flop. I'm pretty sure I get stacked, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it from that perspective, I think obviously you're going to get stacked because I think he's going to check.
I'm saying I can't. Yeah, I'm saying I can't be results orientated and try and swing it around that way. Like, you still have to play the hand correctly and give yourself a chance to get away when you should get away. As in the fact that I bet the flop, he calls. Maybe I check back turn and call river. But most of the time that's going to be for the whole stack, so it's irrelevant.
Yeah, I think you get called by enough hands on the turn too. When you don't have any club blockers and you don't have any king or 10 blockers.
That's what I'm saying. Because when I'm not blocking them, the likelihood is he's blocking them, which means he can definitely hero call me with 2 pair, especially top 2, with a blocker, and he can definitely call all sets, and just decide this is probably one of the best guys to call against on the table. Because, like, I'm playing my image at the same time. Before I sit at the table, I know for a fact that he must have been told about me. The profiles have been put up before we've sat down at the table. So he can easily click a link to Google my name or read about my profile, and like he can roughly assess the situation. So I thought to myself, like, I'm probably the best player to allow him to make a call with 2 pair with a blocker. You know? So that's why I decided to play the hand the way I did, because you've got to play on your image as well. Obviously, you've got to make sure that you know that the player knows your image. And I was 90% sure that he knew my image was reasonably ludicrous.
Yeah, I think it's just an unlucky spot. I want to play the next hand now too. Hold on, let me get this next hand loaded up here. So the next hand, the commentary. I mean, this hand's ridiculous. By the way, I hope you quit after this hand. I would never be able to keep playing after this hand happened. This hand's fucking sick. So
here we go again. I'm saying here we go again. This hand is so bad as well, because I'm saying bad for a PLO fish point of view, because they're looking in and it's exact same again. I check, and the only time I put the money in is when I'm beat. But like, it's ace-7-7. It's relevant again. If I bet the flop, the guy's going to be worried about me having aces full, because he still has a range of having a 7 like 6, 7, 8, 9, 5, 6, 7, 8, 7, 8, 9, 10. He's got all this in his range. He's got all these hands in his range. I'm saying, obviously, the hand that he has is one of the worst hands you can have. And he's just lucky to be in the position that he is, having 45%, I think.
Well, let's play the hand here. Hold on a second. Let me get into the hand. If you're watching this on iTunes, if you want to skip ahead like a couple minutes, and if you're not interested in the PLO hands, but I just found this commentary, and the commentary was just like the best commentary I've ever heard in my entire life, if anything. So I had to play these hands on the podcast here. So let me get into this. I'm going to put the microphone over here.
And 3 aces. Dirksen is running over the game here. He's the only really big winner. Right, he's played super tight and had the nuts twice and is up 1,300. Geilich picks up aces after he played all these subpar hands. He's definitely going to be playing this one.
It's amazing.
With Jack 10-7-3, what the fuck?
This hand's pretty amazing, actually.
Is this rigged? Makes it 60 with Jack 10-7-3.
They both have 3 hearts, so it's really unlikely that the flush comes.
C1 raises to 200.
200 with aces.
No way.
Rayfogle, who earlier did not play kings double suited, now has worse kings. He's got kings with 3 of the same suit. But I think because he's lost his entire profit, he's kind of chasing here. So he gets Dirksen along for 400, and I think Geilich's just going to repot it. Got a lot of money out there already. He's got over $1,000 in the pot already. And he could pick up Dirksen's dead money here if he pots it. He repots it. And Rayfogle got caught here. He's got by far the worst hand. I think Rayfogle has to fold. He folds. Doesn't play that poorly against this hand. And that's a really smart call there. I mean, he's even money to win the pot, and he's actually getting way better odds than that based on all these previous actions. Really strong call by Dirksen there.
Heads up.
Oh.
And Dirksen flops his set. And Geilich flops his house. This is unbelievable.
Flops the set.
I'm surprised.
Oh dear. I'm surprised he didn't bet.
He remembers the 4-7 against aces full.
Yes, now I'm all in.
I don't know how Geilich let him get that far in the hand. With aces full.
I'm on C9 calls. Wow.
Wow.
He flops aces full and loses the pot.
I'm saying that obviously you wouldn't have folded. Yeah.
He's never, obviously he's never folding, but I'm saying he's not going to be happy about it.
Wow. Everybody on hand. I'm saying you're not going to fold. Obviously.
Okay, so that's the second hand. And for you guys that missed it, Dirksen, this crazy fucker, opens. He raises Jack 10 7-3 under the gun to 60. Ludo 3 bets to 200 with ace ace king 8 3 hearts. Shark Slayer min 4 bets with king king queen 4 bad kings. And then Dirksen somehow snap calls the 450 preflop, and then Ludo 4 bets preflop to 1600. And Shark Slayer folds, and then Dirksen calls with Jack 10 7-3. The flop's ace 7-7. So Dirksen flops trip sevens, and Ludo flops nut full house. It goes check check turn 2, check check river 7. So Dirksen makes quads, and he checks, and Ludo goes all in for $2,200 into a pot of about $3,600, and loses another $8,000 pot. So. But I love the commentary in that hand because the guy in the green shirt that's Shark Slayer, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So the commentary in that hand is my favorite part of the hand. I mean, the hand's pretty sick too. Obviously, you just lost that other hand pre-flop. So, but I think putting in 100. Well, anytime you can put in 160 big blinds pre-flop with Jack 10 7-3, I think you almost have to do it.
He managed to find a call that was profitable, that's for sure, and it was an amazing call. I'm saying, like, the fact that once he gets himself into that situation, he just has to make himself believe that his whole hand's live, which it was, and be pretty much lucky enough it was live.
Was this game rigged? I mean, this seems like a rigged spot. Like, he opens the hand under I'm obviously not rigged, but he opens the hand under the gun, and then he, like, insta calls the 4-bet. I mean, it doesn't make sense. I don't like it. It just doesn't make sense. What the fuck is he doing?
I don't know what happened here, but he did not miss a hand. He didn't miss a flop. He did not miss one hand. He did not miss one flop. He never missed a draw. He never missed anything. I can't actually remember him missing a key hand, like losing a key pot. I can't remember him losing like a 4K pot. I don't think he lost a big pot. If you can call like a pot over 2K a big pot in a 5-10 game, which you can reasonably call it a big pot, I don't think he lost one of those hands all day, and he must have played for at least 10 hours.
It's incredible. I mean, especially when you're
like,
yeah.
He won like 20, 24K, 25K in this game. I'm pretty sure he won like 20K. And like most of the money was mine. And then he never lost a pot, like a reasonable sized pot. I don't think he lost.
So sick, man. Yeah,
he ran pretty pure, that's for sure.
I'm very I'm happy. I mean, I'm happy I didn't go to the game because it's a 5-hour drive and I wanted to drive to Iowa. But
yeah,
I'm sad I didn't go. It looked so. What was the game? So we actually have someone in the chat. Autograph. What's up, puppy? Otto says, how did Ludo think the game was? He said he was in the game. Ask him what he thought of the lineup in the game. I was in it. Autograph says.
I thought that, to be honest, I thought that the lineup was better than I expected for sure. I'm saying like. It was a lot, not tougher than I expected, but not many people were making mistakes. And it was one of those games that I felt I had to force the action a lot, which is not a good game if you're having to force the action.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I didn't play my best for sure, because once I lost the 2 pots, you know it's a one-off game, so you don't want to lose in the game, so you end up kind of like chasing the game. which is not the correct thing to do as a professional poker player. You should obviously just be looking at the game as like in the long run.
Yeah.
And because like I'm a bit of a degen, you think on a basis of like wanting to win the session because this is the only time you're going to have to get to play this game. So it was pretty messy. It got pretty messy, and I didn't play my best after that. I was making a lot of pots bigger. I was getting involved in hands I shouldn't have been getting involved in because it was like bad hands, which probably made me deserve to lose an extra, 8-9K that I lost because I didn't be professional about things and decide to like sit and wait for hands and don't force the game. I was just forcing all the big pots, which was pretty bad.
I know what you mean. I mean, especially when you get stuck in when you lose some hands like this, and you obviously have position on a player you perceive as putting a lot of money in pre-flop and in some questionable spots. I think that you're definitely going to be pushing the action, as you said. It sounded like you said that there were players like I know what you mean. It's not like they're really good players, but at the same time, it's not like they're really giving away a lot of money in a lot of spots.
They're not. They're there. Like they're being very professional. They're not there to gamble. They're not there to create pots or create action or have banter. There were no players like that. They were all there to make money. And there was, in this day and age with poker, not a lot of people are giving away money. It's hard. Like 2-3 years ago, I would go to Atlantic City and play like a 10-25 PLO game or a 25-50 PLO game, and people were just throwing away 30K, 40K, and by throwing away, like they had no chance of winning. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you don't get that anymore. Like I was in Vegas recently for like a month, 6 weeks, playing anything from 5-5 to 25-50 PLO. Basically not one fish. There was lots of bad players, but that didn't mean they were fish. That just meant like they lost value in certain spots. They made bad calls. They couldn't fold a flush. But like, it wasn't as if they were like. What I mean by they couldn't fold a flush is like 2-3 years ago, you would get guys that were like quite happy to like go all in on the river when you bet the nut flush with like the king high flush. Like I'm all in, but you just don't get that. There's not much dead money hanging about anymore.
Were you playing Were you playing the 2-5-10 game at Aria, or did the 5-10-20 game go there too?
I played the 2-5-10 game in Aria, and to be honest, like the last few months I've been playing not my best PLO, and I've not been running good. And a combination just means you're going to just lose a lot of money.
Yeah.
And I played the 2-5-10 game in the Aria, and it was a decent game, but same again, there was no fish. Like nobody's really giving away the money. The only advantage you have is like having a lot more knowledge at getting bluffs through with blockers, and obviously like going for a lot more value than they ever go for, because like bad PLO players they lose so much value. See, when they do see a player that is not going to fold, but it's not as like a bad player, but they're just not going to fold, when they're like checking the flop quickly and then calling your bet, you just know they're doing that. Some good players can be doing that to make you slow down, and then you can just judge how good or bad they are to make you think if they're going to fold. So if somebody's snap checking, calling you, if you bet 2/3 pot on the flop and they call you, your next bet on the turn shouldn't be 2/3 pot. If they're not folding for 1,200 into like 1,800, they're not going to fold for 1,600. They're not going to fold for 1,700 or 1,800, especially live poker, because people get frustrated, and it's live poker. It's a lot slower than online, so they start making calls that they would never make online, and that's one of the massive advantages of playing live poker. But recently, as I said, I've not been winning at PLO, mainly because probably negativity going into the game, because I've been running bad and playing bad at the same time. So before you go in, there's a bad mood already set, so it doesn't help the fact and you're going in quite negative.
No, it's like kind of one of those situations where you go in and you have going into, you're like, all right, I'm going to shake this off. And then, once one bad run out comes, or once you get, your bluff gets caught in one spot, you start questioning yourself, and you're like, fuck, man, not another one of these games, or not another one of these days. And it's really hard to shake that mentality.
Here's a prime example. I seen you tweet about a month ago. You said you were losing a lot of buy-ins in a game, and you got it back, and it's the best feeling ever when you're down like 10 buy-ins and you win the money back, because that hardly ever happens at PLO. even though it's probably the best game to play to get your money back. But it doesn't happen often, especially if the lineup's quite tough. And I don't know how tough that lineup was, but the way that you expressed it online, like on Twitter, it sounded as if it must have been a tough lineup, and you got the money back that night. So like,
well,
you were quite.
Yeah, that night I think I was six tabling, and some of the games were bad, or some of the games were pretty tough, but one game was really good.
That's totally different. I thought you were playing live. So, like, I wouldn't even have brought this up because online and live is so much different. If you're losing 10 buy-ins or whatever online, you're playing 6 tables, it's nothing. As in the fact that it can happen quick, but it's hard to get back.
Yeah.
But still, you've got 6 tables to work with. So it's quite good in that sense if you're losing.
But yeah,
so
but definitely when you're playing one table, it's very impossible to make back 10 buy-ins.
That's what I'm saying, and that's the thing recently. When I've been playing live, I've been playing 2-5-10, 10-25, 25-50. I've been always chasing from the start. So like the minute I get in the game, 1 hour, 2 hours, I'm 3 buy-ins down. And it's not good. And like when I was winning money, it was mainly because I was saving the session. So I was like winning only small, but it felt like a big win because I was always coming back from behind.
Right.
So that's how it just gets extremely tough.
Thinking about this for a second. So what do you think is the solution to, I mean, do you think it's just keep playing status quo what you're playing and just hope for things to turn around, or what?
I don't actually know, because I've not got a lot of experience with PLO, as in like volume wise. I've played the game for years, but I've never played a lot. Like, let's say you've played online for 2 years. You've played PLO.
You said for me?
Yeah, if you've played online for 2 years, obviously, if you've played online PLO for 2 years, you've played a lot more hands than me. Even though I've played PLO for 13 years.
Yeah.
So, like, you're going to be a lot better because you've seen a lot more hands. So that's just, obviously, that's just the numbers. But, like, with PLO, when you go on a run of continually, like, you keep going 2-3 buy-ins behind. And that happened to me for like 10, 15 sessions where I was always chasing the money. I was immediately behind and I was always having to play catch up. When that happens to you, like the 4th session, the 5th session, and it keeps going, it becomes like before you go into the next session, you know you're going to be behind straight away, and you know you have to come back from behind all the time. And that was the case.
So what I found when I was doing that a lot was that I was just playing bad, like at the beginning of my sessions. That's why I wasn't as concerned about losing, because I'm like, all right, I'm going to start this session off fresh. Let me win 1 or 2 buy-ins. And I was definitely making some questionable plays to try to make those 1 or 2 buy-ins because I wanted to get up so bad, because I wanted to have a winning session so bad, because I wanted to reverse this thought process in my head of that exact feeling. And I think that's a big reason why that ended up happening to people.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm totally saying to you just now, like 100%. I've not been playing my best, and that's the reason why I'm going behind so much, because I'm on the chase, because I'm obviously starting too fast, and I've took a long break. I've not played for like 2 or 3 weeks now, because I know for a fact I need the break. So I need to wait until I know I'm ready to go back in and play. And then once I feel ready, that's when I'll just go in and play. I'll wake up one day and I'll decide to go and play PLO. Until then, I'm going to obviously just sit down, think about the game, and watch videos and read stuff and get my head together and make sure I'm not doing anything that I shouldn't be doing. You know?
Do you play online PLO too?
Yeah, I've played decent stakes, but as I said, like I've not put a lot of volume in. I've played 25-50 Zoom on Stars, but it just depends how much money I've got on Stars. And I'm a bit of a DJ, so I try to go for the spin up and all that kind of stuff. And you're playing against the best in the world when you're playing at 25-50 Zoom. So it's not the best. It's not the best game to play, but it's good to learn, and it's the best game if you want to play your best. And usually when I play the 25-50, I'll play my best game unless I'm drunk or something silly, which I've been known to do when I've went on online and played 25-50. I've been drunk most of the time. But you end up playing your best because the higher you play against and the better players you play against always brings out your A game because you don't want to let yourself down. So
Definitely not a GTO approach, Poppy.
definitely, I'm not saying that it's a GTO approach. I'm just saying I'm pretty silly, but I know for a fact if I put the hours in and I work in my game, I can win at the game. And that's the main thing you need. You need to know that. You need to know you've got the confidence to believe in yourself. That's the first thing you need to know.
But I guess it's like you need the belief in yourself, but you also then need the ethic to put the work in to get to that belief.
I know when I'm playing bad. It's the same as Texas Hold'em tournaments. I'll come back and say I played badly and I deserve to get busted out. And you've got to be honest with yourself in poker. If you're not honest with yourself, you're not going to get anywhere. You're going to just lie to yourself about how you played hands, assuming or thinking that you played the hand correctly, whereas you didn't. You're just making yourself believe you played it correctly. You've got to be openly honest.
Mm-hmm. Why don't you stick to mainly tournaments? Why do you? I mean, obviously, I know PLO is a great game. It's my favorite game, but tournaments. You have a lot of success in those.
Yeah, that's my main game. My main game is MTT tournaments live and online, but I enjoy live more because it's more of a battle. It's just the emotions you go through, even though it's quite slow. The day ones are brutal, but day twos, day threes are the time when you bring out your best game because the game's it's progressing. So you've got to have to move up in gears and start playing a lot better. Day one's just about survival. Day twos, obviously, as the game starts. So
interesting.
That is my main game, but MTTs is my main game. Like PLO is the bread and butter game. When the thing with me is my work ethic is not the best. So like I'll play lots of volume PLO when I feel like it, but when I don't feel like it, I won't go downstairs and play. I'll just stay in the room. So that's the best way I can describe it.
Interesting stuff. You're MP Ham 1215 on Twitch. What did he say earlier? He said best poker pod. Just started listening to archive pods. So many great guests. Gracias, sir. Need Viffer? I know we need Viffer for sure. He said, is Ludo going to play the EPT Grand Final? I believe you are going there, correct?
Yeah, that's why I'm in Amsterdam just now. I'm going to just play online tomorrow, then chill out Monday, then I'll be in Monte Carlo on Tuesday.
So Monte Carlo Tuesday, what's the schedule like there? Is there a bunch of events you play, or do you play cash? And I've never been to Monte Carlo. What's it like there?
Monte Carlo's a very expensive place. So like it's a place that you want to try and put your head down and just focus on poker, because the less you play poker, the more you're going to spend, and it's not a cheap place. So first of all, you've got to just be there solely based for poker, and I'll probably play everything up to 5k and then try and satellite into the 10k high roller. Apart from that, if I've got some time off, I'll have a look at cash, and I'll probably make sure I'm ready. I'm nice and fresh, and I'll probably play 5-10 or 10-25 PLO.
What are they raking those games? Is it pretty big? I know some of the EPT shops. It seems big.
EPTs are fine. If the EPT stops, if they're raking 5% in Barcelona, they can't go any higher in Monte Carlo. So like I'm pretty sure like everything's capped and set, so it doesn't make a difference.
Oh, okay. I'm trying to find it right now on here.
I'm pretty sure. I might be wrong, but I would be pretty dumb for like them to set like, I don't know, €10 every half hour in Barcelona and maybe €15 every half hour in Monte Carlo, just because of the location. That wouldn't be nice.
Holy fuck. So it says on here the cap in the 5-10 game is €20. And in a 5100 in a 10-20 game is €25, and 20-40 it's €30.
And maybe that is the case then, I don't know. Maybe the case is it depends on where the location is, because Monte Carlo is a higher place. I'm saying like it's a a lot better lifestyle-wise. Obviously, maybe
Yeah.
they think they can. Maybe they think they can just get away with it. Who knows? I'm saying like, but I've only ever played one cash session in Monte Carlo. That was 2 years ago. I think I lost like one buy-in, then I just left. I can't remember.
I'm just looking at these rakes. I mean, I can't believe this is fucking high. 2.5 is capped at €15 for Hold'em and PLO. So it's 3% cap at 15. So what is?
That's obviously it's pretty bad because when you play in the UK scene, and to be honest, the best rake is abroad. The best rake is in America when they charge you like $6 every half hour or $5 every half hour. I'm saying that's the best for somebody that plays a lot of pots like myself. It's still the best for like the biggest net at the table. I think it's still probably going to be the best. So like all these it's totally different in America than it is in Europe for sure. I'd rather definitely pay like $10 every half hour or $6 every half hour rather than them rake every hand, because for sure there's going to be a lot more money coming off the table, especially in Europe, because the dealers are so much better quality-wise and they can get in so many more hands. So if they rake every pot individually, you're definitely, as a player, losing money.
I gotta be honest. I'm a little bit shocked right now by how high the fucking rake is, because as you said, I mean the 10-20 game that runs here in Chicago at the Horseshoe. What is it time? They think they take 8 or 10 every half hour or something like that.
In some places, it's 5% capped at $5.
Right. Yeah.
Some places are 5% capped at $5.
And here
That's quite...
in a 2-5 game, they're taking 50. If a pot's basically $500, they're taking $15 from the fucking pot.
Maybe they've just changed that recently because Amaya are just like obviously just in there sucking all the money up. But maybe the fact that it's Monte Carlo, they're maybe charging more, or maybe that is the rake all the time.
Well, I said the Barcelona was 2.5% cap. This one's 3% cap, but it looks like it's the same cap total that you can get in a hand.
Honestly, like I'm trying to think. Like,
I mean, I feel like is that standard in all the cash game places around?
For EPTs, like I don't play a lot of cash at EPTs, to be honest. I've probably played like less than 10 cash game sessions at all stops, so I'm not 100% sure. I have been in Malta and asked about this rake situation, but I can't remember where it was. I think it was €20 capped. Pretty sure it was capped at €20.
Jesus. Do you know they're actually raising the rake in Las Vegas? Allegedly. I don't know if this is like public or anything like that, but
and all stakes, obviously.
I'm pretty sure that it's going to be introduced at one or two of the bigger casinos, and then it'll probably be raised at all the other ones as well.
So at the Wynn, at the Aria or something, or the Bellagio at the Wynn?
I'm not exactly sure which one's going to get it first, but I think it's right now they're waiting because, as you said, I think what's happened is they've compared the rake in Las Vegas to everywhere else around the world, and they're like, well, fuck, look at how much money these places are making from rake. Well, and now they feel like they have, you know what I mean? Going off that, they can raise their own rake.
The price of poker has just went up, so it's not good.
What do you think about all the tournament changes on Pokerstars then? Because you play a lot of tournaments on Stars.
I've not had the chance to really look at this schedule. I think it changes this Monday.
Well, they've been making changes all along. You know, they think they rake the rebuy. I really got to take a deeper dive into this to know exactly what it is.
Sorry, if you're talking about that, yes, I think they've absolutely they've done the worst thing they could ever do. Like, for instance, the 109 rebuy. How can they ever charge somebody for a rebuy an extra $9? That's insane. Now, to be honest, the best way to play it is just to play it as a freeze out. So you buy in, and if you bust, you bust. Mm-hmm. And you take the add-on if you need it. That's about it. You don't ever rebuy, so that's the only way that you can play that tournament now is you play it as a freeze out. And once you're in the rebuy period, if you bust, you bust. You're out the door. Do not buy back in. That's the only way.
Have you felt any effects of this? Have you felt in terms of how you approach your grind online, or how you approach, I guess, just your overall mentality about moving up or making money at poker online?
When this all happened already, and I was in Vegas at the time in LA, so like I wasn't playing online, so I'm only getting to that stage now, where I'm playing my grind and I'm playing my 109 rebuy, and once I bust, I'm not buying back in, and I've only had the chance to do it 2 or 3 times, and once I've busted, I've not bought back in. So unless it's been a Sunday, I've bought back in, but during a weekday, I've not bought back in.
Aye. Fuck sakes,
Yes,
man.
it's pretty bad. And like the hyper changes as well. The hypers used to be, I think there used to be a $51 hyper, and they moved it up to 55. So like they're even charging more for that as well. I'm saying it's definitely not good. They're just crushing the amount of fucking. They're just crushing every dollar out the game. It's insane. It's not good.
Aye. How old are you, Ludo?
I'm 28.
28, huh? I feel so old. I don't know if I'm trying to remember the last time I had someone older than me on a pod.
What age are you? 31?
I'm 30.
You're 30. Okay, I wasn't far off.
I'm
Not too bad.
Too old. Why'd you stay in the United States so long? Because you were in LA, but then you just decided to hang out for a while and travel around a little bit.
There was nothing going on in the UK or Europe, so I just stayed and played all the WPTs, and I played every tournament that was possible to play. I played LAPC, I played Bay 101, I played a couple of the WSOP circuit events. I played the one classic which I won, which helped out big time because I was in a big hole.
Yeah, you won the Win Classic for 100 and some thousand.
150, but like I'd went to PCA. I'd basically bricked PCA. I'd went and played LAPC. I satellited into the main event, which saved some money. I played like A101. I played all the other WSOP circuit events. So that the one definitely like wasn't the full 150. Wasn't like okay, I'm a big winner. I was like minus a lot, and I've been running very bad at cash at the time as well. So.
Mason Barrel on YouTube says, "Hey Ludo, loved watching you battle in the most recent EPT. Sorry if this has already been asked, but do you have any crazy live poker stories?"
Crazy live poker stories. I've got plenty, but see, when you're asked on the spot, it's always hard to pick one up. I've got one. It was from last year at Monte Carlo, and it was supposed to actually be on EPT, on Pokerstars, during when they was doing like Pro Explains Hand or something. They were asking nightlife, and there was this one story. We were all drunk, and it was me, Jake, all the English boys, a couple of Scottish boys, just all the group of guys that go about and have a good time during EPTs. When they have time off, we would go and have some drinks. And I was very drunk, and we were coming back from watching a boxing match or something. Or we were going to watch the boxing match. It was Pac-Man against Floyd Mayweather. So it was last year, and we were coming back from that, and I was hammered. And in Monte Carlo, they have pretty sure it was like a beach, and it was a downstairs area, and there was like a wee hut, like a small hut, but there was like a fence going towards the hut, and it wasn't that hard to get to climb, to balance my way over the hut, over the fence to get on the hut. So I managed to go down, started balance my way across the fence to get to the hut, and obviously the fence just collapsed, and I ended up scraping my full back and my full front down the fence. So I was cut all across my body, and obviously the next day I had to do that interview, or the next couple of days I had to do that interview, and I was in agony with my body because I'd scraped my body, and they were asking me about crazy stories, and I went and told them about that crazy story, which was 2 days previously. So it was quite funny. But it wasn't.
It's like your body was actually scraped all along here?
Yeah, it scratched my full body, yeah. Like, I was only wearing a t-shirt and maybe a jacket, but the fact that I'd slid down the fence and it was made of wood, like, it just, like, obviously the wood was old wood or whatever, and it was just scraped my body. So I ended up waking up not in the best of moods. At the time, you don't feel the pain, but in the morning, you've got a headache and you feel the pain.
Yeah. That's what happens is that what happens when you guys get drunk? You guys start.
Maybe someone said to me, like, I bet you can't get over there, and that's why I've done it. But I can't remember at the time. I think somebody else jumped over on top of another hut and fell through it or something. I don't know. So I tried to, like, balance my way over this fence to get to this wee small hut. And before I got to the hut, I'm pretty sure I just fell down and the fence just collapsed at the same time as me, like, sliding down it and getting scraped both ways against another fence or something. That was pretty crazy.
Close Rachel says Glass Wigan. Is that what Glasgow people are called? Glaswegians?
Glaswegians.
Glaswegian drunk is a different kind of drunk.
Yes, it is.
What's like the poker scene like over there in Scotland? So you live in Glasgow, correct?
Yeah, Glasgow. It's not the best. It's on the weekends. It's quite good. Friday and Saturday nights. It's good for like 1-2 grinders and 2-5 grinders. Apart from that, that's all you're going to get. You never get 5-10. You never get 10-25, like, ever. There's no such games as those games. But it is in pounds. So, like, 2-5 pounds is like $3, $6, or sometimes it's like $4. No, sorry, it's like $4, $8. Like 2-5.
Is there a lot of regulars that live there too, or is it not many people?
Yeah, there's a lot of cash game regs that just make their bread and butter, their cash, like their earnings through cash games. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of like players that just try and make like £1,000 a week. You get lots of them.
Doesn't that one girl live there?
Who?
You know, that girl. Remember that? You know the girl, the heads up player. Allegedly, the alleged heads up player.
Oh, Kellyanne?
Yeah, she lives there, right?
Yeah, Kelly doesn't stay that far away from me. She stays like 2 miles from me. So, like, but I'm never, the thing about Glasgow, obviously you've got your different areas. I'm never really down that way. So I don't really get to bump into her a lot. So, like, I don't really see her back home. The only times when I actually do see her is on the tours, like at Malta, Barcelona, or in Vegas or something. Mm-hmm. That's the only times I really do get to see her. I used to see her a lot more when, like, I was a lot younger, like 17, 18, where she knew friends that I knew. So, like, I would maybe bump into them and say hello, all that kind of stuff. But we don't actually socialise together outside of poker, mainly because I'm never home and she's always obviously doing her own thing or whatever. I'm saying, like, she's on the other side of Glasgow. Well, not the other side of Glasgow, but I'm never really home anyway. And when I'm home, I'm never at the side of Glasgow that I'm at. So
that makes sense. Donkey, we got a lot. We're bringing out a lot of the. You're bringing out a lot of the UK people to the chat today, and I was looking at my analytics on my viewership on YouTube, and I was surprised that I thought Canada was second, but UK is actually the second most popular country that watches all my stuff. So, and I don't have enough people from that area on the podcast. I think the last one I had on was Luke Schwartz.
That was the best one ever.
Yeah,
that was my favorite one.
You love your people, man. You like those are the favorite people I have.
I've only ever watched 2 of your podcasts. Luke was the second one. The first one was Timex.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was about the changes. I think he was talking about the changes. Basically,
yeah, that was a couple months ago. Yeah.
Yeah, and like Pratush was in the background. That was the first time I watched one of your podcasts. Then I watched a few of you done some hand histories on the PLO, high stakes PLO.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do some of those sometimes, yeah.
Yeah, and once I started listening to your thought process and I was liking it, I went, okay, I like this guy. I think he's quite good at analysing PLO as that is your main game. So I started obviously watching the next one, which was Luke Schwartz. Once I seen it, I went, oh, I'm clicking that. That has to be clicked, and I started watching. That was like the best podcast ever, for sure.
Yeah, Luke is
he's one of a kind.
He's definitely one of a kind. But I mean, at the same time, he seems like there's a lot of other guys that might be like him in terms of how they talk or their mannerisms or the way that they think about things that are also from over there.
I like the fact he just says what he thinks. It's like pigeons and this is bull and all that. He uses all the terms that we use back home that you didn't know about.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, what does that mean? What does this mean? So it's pretty funny.
Yeah, that podcast needed its own dictionary for sure, because it was a lot of new words were learned during that episode.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Who's like the most popular poker player over in that area? Is it Sam Grafton now? He's Mr. Big Time GPL commentator now. He could be.
Are you talking about
his ways up there?
Are you talking about in Scotland? Or are you talking about in the UK?
Let's do Scotland first, and then we'll do UK.
Probably the most well-known player at this moment in time, because he's just won an EPT, and the fact that he's well-known on Twitter, is Neil Farrell, Alvarado, 87.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm.
He's probably the most well-known just in general anyway. But like, obviously we've got David Van Plo, which is like, he's always been there for like a long time. Ever since he won EPT London. You know David Van Plo, surely. You must remember the video on EPT where the Russian guys, you have to pull the video up. It's the best video ever.
That's interesting. So I read something recently that David wrote, and I thought he was. I didn't know. Man, I'm fucking clueless, I guess. I thought he was a writer. I didn't know if he was a poker. I didn't know he's a poker player too. Shout out to him then. Okay, I didn't know that.
No, he's won an EPT. He won EPT London for like £1 million, I think it was. But yeah, he's very successful at the game. He's won a lot of money, and he wrote a great blog, a great article about Pokerstars, which I read also, which was why I shared it and liked it.
Mm-hmm. I found something else when I just clicked on his thing. I found you covered in blood, it looks like.
Yeah, that was at Malta.
What happened? Wait, why are you covered in blood in this picture, Poppy?
It's fake blood from a Halloween party.
Oh, allegedly fake.
Yeah.
Oh, alleged fake blood.
Definitely fake. It was definitely fake. Yeah.
Okay, are you sure?
Yeah, of course it was fake. I would tell you if it wasn't.
Okay. I thought you were getting in some sort of Maltese Fison down in Paceville. I thought maybe you got a little drunk. You and the Italians started mixing it up.
Paceville? Patchyville?
Listen, I don't know what it says. Paceville. Okay, I call it Paceville.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna. I don't know the goddamn proper.
It's got a bit of pace. You're right. Yeah.
I can see a lot of scuffles happening down there. It gets a little crazy down that place.
Yeah, for sure. There's a lot of scuffles. It's a place that's got a lot of nightlife and a lot of English and a lot of bands go like
a
Neds.
lot of Italian people.
Yeah, you get a lot of people that go for a good time, and obviously they're looking for some trouble after it. You get that at most places like Ibiza or whatever.
Have you been to? I'm not going to say Ibiza. I just can't say Ibiza like that. Have you been to Ibiza a few times?
I've been there once. Yeah.
You've been there once. What happened?
I went in 2007. It was quite good. The weather was decent. I went just after the season had finished, so I kind of missed all the good stuff. But I still enjoyed myself, and what age was I? I was 19, so I was still fairly young and enjoyed myself.
Yeah, the things I liked about Ibiza were, if no one's been to Ibiza, it's like, if you don't know what it is, it's like I guess you could say it's kind of Cancun-ish to North America, but I think it's more intense than Cancun. But a lot of tan people there, a lot of very attractive tan people there, a lot of English people there too, not tan. And but it was a lot of. I definitely got myself into some trouble for sure.
What age did you go?
I went there 3.5 years ago.
I see you were mature. You were a man. You were fine. You still tried to get into trouble, but fair enough.
Well, I went there. I met a girl. I traveled Europe with her. I moved to Australia to date her. So that's what happened. That's what happened for me in Ibiza. So
I think I heard you say this before. Yeah. One of the funny podcasts that I actually watched recently, but I didn't watch the full podcast, was Kitty Coo. The Kitty Coo podcast.
Kitty Kwa.
That was so good. Yeah. Is that how you pronounce her second name, Kitty Kwa?
I honestly have no idea. It could be. I'm not sure.
Pretty sure it's Kitty Coo. Yeah. I'm not 100% sure, but
Yeah, Kitty's she's interesting. I enjoyed having her on the podcast. I felt like I learned. I just didn't know much about her going into it, except outside of her tweets, and I felt like I learned a lot more about the type of personality she has on the podcast.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, she's 100%. She's a good personality. That's for sure. Yeah.
Do you have any? We're talking about girls. Do you have any poker female crushes? Have you ever dated poker players in the female poker player world here?
To be honest, I've not dated anyone, and I've not really got any crushes. I think poker and having a relationship with a girl is hard. I think you've got to. I don't know. It's once you get a girlfriend. I'm saying, obviously, if you've got a girlfriend inside the poker world, it's going to help a lot more because she's going to understand you.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if it can work. I don't think it can work.
Yeah, some guys pull it off, but
yeah.
I mean,
I think it's just too hard to work. That's just my personal opinion.
Do you think it's hard to work? I'm gonna anger the feminists with that comment. So I'm not. Okay, actually, I'm gonna say it. Kate Hall. I'm sorry, Kate. Do you think it's because? Wait, why do you think that is? Never mind. I'm gonna ask you first. Why do you think that is?
No, you go first.
Okay, I was gonna say this. So it seems like a lot of women you meet in poker, me personally, a lot of the women you meet, they're not very good at poker. No shots at them. Like, they're just not very good. And I feel like when you meet a woman in poker who's not very good at poker, it's just hard to date them in a serious way because she's talking like a fish and you're talking and you know what I know that might be on the borderline. The feminists might be coming after me, but I feel like that's a pretty big reason why you might not want to date women in poker.
And maybe it doesn't matter how many times you tell them how to do this and how to do that and not to do this, not to do that. Sometimes, I'm not just saying it's because she's obviously it's a female, but obviously you don't have a lot of great female poker players because poker's more of a guy's game.
No, I'm not saying that. No,
I'm saying I'm not gonna.
They're coming. I hear them. Yeah. Hold the fucking door, bro. They're coming. They're coming.
Yeah. You end up throwing something out and it gets taken the wrong way. I'm saying, like, it's like football. It's not a women's game, but you have women's soccer teams. I'm saying, like, it's the exact same as that. I'm saying, like, that's the best way to describe it. Even though it's a physical game, it's like you've got to be extremely strong mentally. And, like, I don't know, like, that's why I always think to myself it's more of a man's game. I'm saying it's totally fine for women to play the game, and there are some very good women poker players, but the majority of female poker players it's because, like, there's so many more. I'm saying I'm digging myself a hole here. I'm saying, like, because there's so many more male players, you see a lot of bad male players, but because there's so few female players, when you do see the bad female poker players, they stand out a lot more.
For sure. Well, I mean, I think it's a function of there aren't that many really, really good female poker players just because there's not many female poker players to begin with. There's so many men, and
that's what it is. It's like 95 or 97-3.
You know, I've heard this debate, you know, between people of that, you know, poker is a man's game, quote unquote, and because of, you know, different reasons of emotional control and their men are better. And I'm not necessarily sure if I don't think I agree with that because, I mean, I feel like women would have success at poker when more women start to play, but there's a lot of other reasons why women just don't play because they have to deal with so much obnoxious shit from guys playing poker that's
also as well. Like, how many times have I been at a table where you've got a nice looking female poker player at the table and every guy at the table's being a massive sleazebag,
right?
Trying to hit on the girl, and I'm thinking to myself, like, this is cringe, like, so bad. Like, you're just sitting here and you're just trying to just not involve yourself because you know what everyone's trying to do, and you're just sitting there saying this just looks so bad, and they know it themselves, and maybe they don't mind that it's happening because they'll be able to, like, gain from it in some way. I don't know, but I'm saying, like, it just looks bad, and it doesn't go down well for myself when I'm sitting there because I don't attempt anything like that. Even though I'm not saying, like, I think I can get success from it or whatever. It's not about that. It's just the fact that I just feel as if from anyone looking in, it just looks pretty bad.
Yeah.
It looks pretty creepy.
Yeah, I think certain types of women they can deal with that. They don't mind it. But I think a lot of types of women just don't want to fucking deal with it at all. It's just like off-putting, annoying.
They just want to sit there. They just want to sit there and play the game. They want to try and make money the way that everyone else is. Full stop. That it just looks so bad when there's like 4 or 5 guys hitting on the one girl, throwing their wee sarcastic comments, try to get the girl to laugh and making eye contact with them and all that, and like try to get themselves like involved in pots with them so they can constantly like look at them and try and make them laugh or whatever. So it's all pretty cringe, that's for sure.
Shout out to Claire Henvey in the chat. She says hi. Claire, what's up, Claire? If you're watching, what's happening? What's going on? Ram Panic on Twitter said, Poppy, you have to stop Kate Hall from watching the latest podcast. Shout out to my girl Kate.
I'm gonna get shot.
My girl Kate, one of the best. But you know, I mean, let's be like, there's just, I mean, I don't know. Like, okay, so I've talked with, I've talked with women in poker on a potential romantic sort of manner, and I got to tell you, these women are popular poker players. They're certainly, I wouldn't say they're very good at poker though. Like I like talk with, and they, you know, this is, I don't want to shout to tournament players as well, but they also
give us some names. Give us some names.
I got no names, but they also play tournaments, and I don't want to say that coincides with them maybe not being that good at poker, because tournament players typically aren't that good at poker. But you know, you combine, you know, even the cash game. I don't know, man. I'm just telling you from my experience. It's a small sample.
I totally agree with you. I think the cash game players are the best players that come into MTT poker. All they need to do is brush up on their shot, stack play, and that's them. Boom. They've sussed out the game.
But then again, at the same time, I got a lot of guy friends who are fucking terrible at poker too. But I'm not really dating them in a romantic way. So I guess that's not. We got to keep it. I got to cut this from the pot. I'm trying to be so politically correct here, Poppy. I'm trying to be a modern feminist, and you know, it's just whatever. What's up, Christine? Poppy, what's happening, man? What's happening?
Can't believe these questions you've asked me, and I've just dug myself a hole, and you've just kind of went, oh fuck, this is all going to kick off shortly.
Yeah, it's all right. Listen, man. Actually, I'm going to write something on my site. I'm going to write dating women in poker, because I find it such a fascinating dynamic. Because, you know, you have like with women in poker, I don't know how it is in Europe. I feel like in Europe it's a little bit different. But in USA, you have like the ex-girlfriends who still play poker, but they broke up with their first boyfriend that got them into poker, and they play 2-5 live, and they play 1-2, and they play some 5-10, and they're kind of fishy, but they sometimes win, but they're not very good if you actually talk poker with them. And then you have the female tournament players who, okay, you know, whatever, but they're popular. They're very well known. They're very popular. All the guys taking shots at them. They're all getting DMs slid into. They're getting messaged on Facebook. They're getting offered flights to Bulgaria and to all these UK and stuff like that. And, you know, then you have like the recreational people who have a job, who sometimes go to the casino and play 1-2 and 2-5, but they're also on social media too. And they sometimes interact with you on social media as well too. But that's really, those are like the 3 groups I feel like there is. And what is it like over there in the UK?
For female poker players?
Yeah, like what's it like? Are there a lot more female poker players over there, or because I feel like in USA there's really not too many.
There's not many female poker players, to be honest. I'm trying to think. There's only like probably 4 or 5 that I can think of, and even then, like, I'm struggling. There's not a lot. There isn't a lot for some strange reason. But I'm saying, like, everyone knows the female poker players that stand out, that have done well in the game. But I'm trying to think, in the UK, there's not a lot. You've got, like, obviously Liv Brie, who's with Pokerstars. In Scotland, we've basically got 0. I hope to God I'm not missing out anybody. Apart from, like, Kellyanne, obviously. I'm saying, like, we've got 0 poker players. There's none, I'm pretty sure. I'm going to probably maybe get a message shortly saying, you forgot about me, but I don't know.
Vicky Corin, is she popular? She's popular, right?
No, I'm talking about Scotland. That's for the UK. I'm saying that she's from London. She's from England. But
okay.
She's English, but I'm saying, like, but even she doesn't play the game anymore. She's probably She probably plays like once a month now. So she's not a poker player anymore.
Right.
She won the money, then took the money, and she's got lots of money anyway. And she does TV presenting, and she writes articles for newspapers, and she does whatever else. So she's got all the money she needs, and I don't think she needed any money out of poker anyway. So
shout out to Vicky Corin, man.
Yeah, definitely.
She was the first person to get off Pokerstars back a couple years ago when the changes first started coming.
She's the first EPT two-time winner, two-time champion.
Yeah.
Yep.
I got so much more to say, but I can't say anymore because I was gonna get myself into so much trouble. Sorry,
you've already got me in a bit of a hole.
What are they gonna do to you, Poppy?
I'm just.
You're the only man I know that goes to Amsterdam and doesn't go out there and meet the red light. Go to the red light district, Poppy. I don't even know how you just chill. You stay in the hotel. You hang out with me. I mean, at 10, 11 at night.
I'm not going to let you down, Julie boy. I'm going to make sure I do this podcast especially when you and me on, and I tell you Saturday sounds good, and you're like, I've never done a Saturday, and I'm like, well, let's have a try, and you're like, okay, let's have a try. And we do it for the first time on a Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
Is that correct? This is the first time on a Saturday?
I mean, this has to be the first Saturday podcast I've done in over a year, for sure. It may be more.
Yeah, so I wasn't going to let you down, that's for sure.
The
red lights can wait.
Well, you're going to Monte Carlo in a couple of days. I don't even know what it's like there. You're going to be playing poker in a casino for how many days straight there?
Hopefully, like 9-10 days.
9-10 days.
Yeah. Have you had any problems with understanding what I've been saying?
No, I think it's fairly easy. Even when I met you, you were drinking at that point in time, and I still understood what you said pretty well.
Well, it's because I try to make it as easy as possible, obviously, when I'm talking.
But you could turn it up, and I could probably not understand you for a little bit.
Yeah, if I wanted to just talk normally, for sure you're not going to understand.
So you don't talk like this normally if you're hanging out with other Scottish people?
Now, to be honest, I took this because the majority of the time I'm with people from other countries like America, Germany, France. So I need to talk like this. But like when I'm with all the boys from Scotland, maybe I still talk the same way I'm talking now, and I just don't know it. But if I talked the way I used to talk, you wouldn't understand, for sure.
Give us we were talking this earlier. Give us a couple words that we can take away and maybe add to our lingo that are popular amongst you and your friends.
I'm trying to think. You ever use mate?
Mate?
Yeah.
M-A-T?
Yeah, that's instead of saying that's my buddy, that's my mate.
I don't say it too much. I'm gonna put it on my list. Okay, mate.
Okay. I don't want to use any bad words. Like, see, in Scotland, we can say the C word, and it can go down pretty well. It's fine. You know the C word? I
know this. Okay, I'm not saying C. Cunty cakes, right?
Yeah, we can say something like that, yeah. Cunty what?
Cunty cakes. It's a guy's Twitter name, Jason Moe, friend of the podcast.
Yeah, I'm saying, like, we say the C word a lot in Scotland, and everyone's totally fine with it. The fact that, I'm not saying they're totally fine, but it's like, I turn around and say, like, if you've never met my friend before, I can say to you, he's a good cunt.
He's and a good cunt. Really? Okay.
Yeah, and everyone's fine with it, yeah.
He's a good cunt.
Yeah,
bro.
And it's totally fine.
Yeah. No, bro, you're a good little cunt. You know that?
It's totally fine, yeah.
He wants to fight now. No, we can't fight. I'm on the podcast, bro. You want to come say what's up? You want to come learn some Scottish words? Okay, well, all right, whatever. Fuck out here. What about ball bag? Feraldo says ball bag.
I was just about to say that one, ball bag or ball bag. Yeah, that's quite good, yeah.
What's ball bag mean?
It's your testicles, isn't it? You're just a ball bag.
Your testicles. Like, how would you use this? Like, my ball bag hurts, or I'm going to put my ball bag in your face, or what would you?
You could say that cunt's a ball bag. You know what I mean?
Oh, that cunt's a ball bag.
Yeah, that would be a mixture. That would be perfect.
Okay.
Yeah.
That cunt is a ball bag. Gotcha.
Make sure you've got your hands up when you say this.
So you say this
to someone, make sure you get your hands.
Okay. That cunt's a ball bag. I can't do the accent. I'm not even gonna try. A wee cockily soup for me dinner.
Who said that?
Lee Shirley 100. Is that a bad thing? Did I say something bad?
She's from up north somewhere. She's from the Highlands or something. I don't. I've not heard that one for a long time.
Let me find some other ones here. How way you flower o Scotland?
Yeah. What you saying?
How way you flower o Scotland?
I don't get the start of that. I get the end of it, but I don't get the start of it.
Okay.
Maybe you're pronouncing it wrong at the start.
I think I must be. Yeah. How? I don't know. I'm not gonna rip your jaw.
That sounds good, yeah.
Okay.
That's that one for Scotland, yeah.
Tadger, Mong, Square, Go Ya Bast. Jesus, what is this?
They're all quite good. You've got a lot of Scottish people watching, that's for sure.
Okay. Haggis? What's that mean?
Haggis is a type of food.
Okay. All right. We're getting some words here. Bold ya Daffy? How many people we got in here that are Jesus Christ, man?
There must be a lot of Scots people in there.
Well, you got a pretty big fan base, it seems like, kid. When I put your account on the podcast, a lot of people were pretty pumped up about it.
Yeah, I don't know. They all like to listen to a DJ for like an hour and a half. So
Are you known as a big DJ over there?
No, I just have a good time. All us Scottish boys always have a good time. When we start drinking, we can't stop drinking.
Like, that makes sense. What did someone call you? The Godfather? They called you the Godfather of poker?
No, surely not.
I think that's what that. Yeah, no, that was something that somebody said about you. They called you the Godfather of poker.
Well, that's a new one to me. That's for sure.
What are you doing to these kids, man? The Godfather of poker. It's a pretty sweet nickname to have.
I'll take it. I'm happy with that. Yeah.
I know, guys in the chat. If you guys have some questions for Ludo, get them in here, man. Get them in here. So you got your plan coming up here is you're going to be going to Monte Carlo for the EPT, and then you go in Vegas next month.
After Monte Carlo, I go back to Amsterdam.
Okay.
Play the WPT Amsterdam.
Okay.
Then play Scoop. Grind Scoop here.
Scoop. Okay.
Then go to Vegas.
Are you going to go to Vegas? Where are you staying?
I'm probably staying at Palm's Place.
You're going to stay at Palm's Place. Did you get a place yet?
What's that?
Did you book your room yet?
Yes, it's booked.
Yeah. I can't decide where I'm going to stay there. I want to stay at Vidara again, but for like a month and a half, it's just fucking expensive, man. God,
Where in the area?
Yeah, Vidara. Yeah, the Vidara right across from the area.
Yeah, well, the Vidara is the same thing, isn't it? It's very similar to the area.
Yeah, it's pretty similar, except the Vidara has a kitchen and it has a fridge too, whereas the regular rooms at Aria don't have a kitchen or fridge. They have a mini fridge, but they don't have like a big size fridge. So if you cook a lot and you actually want to maintain a diet and try to be healthy and not pay the $27 for fucking breakfast or go to the dumbass cafe downstairs and wait for 35 minutes for your food, or go to Starbucks and have the same goddamn croissant every morning, you know, it usually comes pretty GTO. So are you going to play any of the cash games out there too, or are you just going to be playing events?
I'll just be playing. I'm not 100% sure, to be honest. I'll be playing a lot of tournaments, but I'll only be playing selected cash games. If the cash games are good, I'll play.
Yeah, there's so many to choose from out there because you have the Rio games, you have the Bellagio games that run, you'll have the Aria games that sometimes go off, you have the Wynn games that sometimes go off too. So it's definitely
the Venetian have some good, decent tournaments as well. At the same time as I don't know about the cash games, but the tournaments are okay. You've got the deep stacks.
Yeah.
At the Venetian. Yeah.
We don't advocate Venetian around here on the podcast, Poppy. That's
sorry, I totally forgot about that, to be honest.
Yeah, it's okay, but you can go there. It's fine. I probably won't go there, except where would I go? I'd go to Cut. Shout out to Cut. Wait, maybe I shouldn't be going to Cut. If I don't go to Venetian because for poker, then I shouldn't be going to Cut for the same reasons as well. Shit. Or I need to answer some questions of myself. It sounds like. Let me some questions here. Ludo, Des Chiselholm has Ludo. Have you ever stabbed somebody before? Fair question.
That's a strong question. That's from Desi Boy. I know Des. I've never stabbed anyone. No, that's a bit of a ludicrous question. No, that's definitely a no.
I'll be honest with you, buddy. If you said, what are the odds you think I stabbed somebody? I'd say at least 65-35 you have.
No, I would probably say it's like 99-1. And even then, I think I'd have to be, I don't know.
Is, you wouldn't really remember it, though, because you didn't remember exactly what happened when you scraped your body jumping over the fence to get to the hut. So
That comes back to you after a few days. But like, if that was the case, with that last question, I'm pretty sure by now I would have found out. I'd either be in jail or else I'd have remembered. But I've definitely not.
Okay. Oh, okay. I'll take your word for this one. Road Sheen says, answer needed. Puppy, Celtic or Rangers?
Unfortunately, Rangers, but we're making our way back up.
Okay, I'm going to try to assume I know what that means. So I think it's a football question, and I believe the Rangers are... What the fuck are they even mean? It's a tot? No, I don't know. That's a Hotspurs. What is the Rangers? What team is the Rangers?
Glasgow Rangers. And
How would I ever know that? Never mind. I'm not a fucking Scottish Championship, Scottish Soccer League.
The reason why I said hopefully, I'm saying like, the reason why I'm a bit on the edge with saying Rangers is because Rangers have been pretty poor because they went right down to the bottom. And now they're making their way back up to the top. But recently they played against their arch rivals Celtic and they managed to beat them.
So it's a big deal over there?
So that's quite a good thing. It's a massive thing, yeah. But Celtic tend to... There's a long story behind all this, and like it's hard to describe. It's hard to tell you on the podcast. But, I'm saying with the history behind.
Yeah, tell me sometime during the summer when we're drunk somewhere at some point in time. Swanson Sex Bomb says, how did you manage to accumulate that many chips that many times during EPT 11 Monte Carlo? You seem to have several comebacks and experience a fair share of bad beats.
The last Monte Carlo was... Yeah, I got lucky against Jason Mercier at the feature table when there was like 30 players left. So once I got lucky against him, I was sitting nicely after that. And I think I was just like maintaining the stack. Then I got lucky once or twice, went back down. Then I was just like rebuilding again. And that happened like 2 or 3 times. Then the last time I got unlucky like three times I think I got unlucky. And then I made one buy which cost me the stack.
Oh, okay. You sound like the type of player who accumulates many big stacks in many tournaments.
Yeah. Yeah, the style of play I can always build a stack. That's for sure.
Matthias Carlgren says,
That's my favourite whiskey. I don't drink whiskey. As much as I'm Scottish, I don't drink whiskey.
Okay. Too bad. What's happening over there? Who's there?
Oh, it's just people going downstairs.
Okay. Have you ever had a fair question, but I like this girl, Claire Henvey. She really trolls a lot in the chat. Shout out to her. Alleged woman. I think it's probably a man, though. Ludo, have you ever gave someone a Glasgow kiss?
I'm trying to think. I know for a fact I've been given them a few times. I think I have once or twice. Yeah.
What's a Glasgow kiss?
It's a headbutt.
Oh, shit. No. Okay. Okay. All right. Bad beat.
It's probably the first thing everyone throws in Glasgow. As they throw in the head first. That's their biggest weapon.
Oh, in a fight or just like in general when you meet somebody?
In a fight.
In a fight. Okay. In a fight.
Yeah.
Okay. Bad beat 831, highest he's ever played live stakes.
What's that?
Highest stakes he's ever played live.
£50, £100 PLO.
Okay. For all those for fuck's sakes, if I wanted to hear Ludo talk about bad beats, I'd have phoned him. Yeah, it's true.
What game? I was talking about Monte Carlo, and I only talked about one hand that I gave a bad beat, so it was all good.
No bad beat stories. Yeah, we don't get into many I kind of want to ask this question because I'm genuinely curious. Have you ever had a girl stick her thumb in your ass?
No. Is that sent in from Hawkesby?
So what does that mean? That they don't, the girls don't, when they're playing with you, they don't stick a thumb in your ass, or what?
No. But who sent the question in?
Claire Henvey, the alleged female in the chat.
That's definitely not a female, no.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure I now know who that is. Yeah.
Wait, you know who that is? It's not a female.
I now know who it is.
Okay, who is it?
It's my friend. It's a friend of mine called Andrew Hawkesby.
All right, well, shout out to Andrew. Thank you for coming into the podcast on an alleged female name and pretending you're a woman in the chat. Andrew Wallace, what's the best nightclub in Glasgow? Garage next to the Genting ? Ha ha ha. Is that a homosexual club, I'm guessing?
It's not a good nightclub. It's for students, for teenagers. It's I would probably say the best nightclub in Glasgow. It's probably Bamboo.
Bamboo?
Yeah.
What's wrong
That's
with
just
what's wrong with the teenage nightclub? You're not on the teen girl grind, or?
It just plays lots of cheesy music, and once you've been in it like 100 times, you're obviously not into it anymore, and you don't want to go there.
I feel you on that one. I think we got a couple more questions here. Can you ask him what he thinks about Benny Stinler's style? Same like his. What is his favorite tourney player? Thanks. Ban Damage 77.
Yeah, Benny did. To be honest, a lot of people did ask me, like, do you not think you play a similar style of game to Benny Spindler? And I thought, obviously, I did. Obviously, Benny's changed a lot, and I've changed a lot since then. So, like, we definitely do not play the way that we used to play. I think when he did play that style, when I did play that style, I think it was very similar. He probably had a lot more knowledge of, like, certain parts of the game that I didn't, but it was because I was good at making things work that didn't make any sense. But I think back then, when he played aggression always worked. Like, and as I came onto the scene and I done well in London, I think the main factor was just aggression. Doesn't matter if you don't know why you're doing it, or like you just know for a fact you're picking the correct opponents and you're playing aggressive, and sometimes aggression is the way forward. Like, it'll be spewy at the same time as you'll lose a lot of chips, but the more aggressive you are, and as long as you're a good poker player, you're going to win more chips than you're going to lose, for sure. And I don't know about my favourite poker player, I'm not sure, to be honest. There's a lot of people that I respect, but I don't know if they're my favourite. I think it's a bit gay saying someone's your favourite poker player.
Listen, I'm not going to offend the homosexual community on this podcast.
No, it's just a term.
We've already offended the women. We're not going to offend the homosexuals today.
It's just a term that people use. Say, I think it's a bit gay, I mean, but I'm just saying, like, I think it's a bit gay to say somebody's your favourite poker player. I've got like 4 or 5 players that I respect.
Who are those 4 or 5 players that you respect?
People who have been down in the dirt and risen and came back from the dead. Like, there's so many. I don't really want to name names, to be honest. Like, but it's the normal names in the European circuit where you've got like Brian Kenny, you've got Mike McDonald, Steve O'Dwyer. It's like the normal names.
Fedor Holes? Is he one of those guys? I don't know. What do they think about Fedor over there?
I think Fedor's, to be honest, is a bit. I'm saying I respect his game for sure, but I'm saying, like, I think he's still a bit too young for people to mention in that category so far, even though he's done a lot in his time so far. I'm saying, like, he's going to be one of these guys that a lot of people do respect just now, but a lot more people are going to respect in the future.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's the question? What's the question?
They said, Lasheri said, LL, now he's gay bashing.
No, I'm not gay bashing. No, I'm just using it as a term. It gets used as a term, saying it's a bit gay.
Chris Mormon, what's up, Prop B? Says Ludo, why are you in the dark? You're in a untracked Amsterdam hotel.
Yeah, I'm hiding.
Why are you in Amsterdam right now anyway? You're just there?
For the Sunday, then go to Monte Carlo.
For the what? For the Sundays? For
the Sunday grind.
But why Amsterdam though?
Because it's right next to Monte Carlo. And you get to chill out, you get to hang out. And your friends are smoking. So they're all smoking weed. So
is that true? It's really right now. Hold on a second.
I'm not saying it's right next to it. I'm saying it's like an hour away.
I've been studying this whole geography thing. I was pretty sure it's not right next to it, but hold on.
You know what? When I'm talking about a 1 hour flight, I'm saying it's right next to it.
Monaco. Wait, where's Monte Carlo at?
If you can say Nice, is there anywhere that you can
Oh,
say?
by France?
Yeah, Nice.
Okay.
And obviously you can see how far apart Nice and Amsterdam is.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's pretty close. You're right. Who knew?
Yeah.
Who knew? I'm learning things today. I learned.
That's one thing you always learn when you're a traveling poker player. Your geography can only get better.
It feels like you travel all the time. Like you literally are just a professional traveler. It seems like.
Yeah, for the last 2 years, been traveling non-stop, but that comes part of it. If you want to get to the top and make make money for sure, you've got to travel.
Have you figured out any ways to like save money on these trips, or are you booking flights before time? Are you just, you're gonna be spending a lot of money on the.
Yeah, everything's pretty much last minute, to be honest, which is not good.
Yeah, it seems like that would take a lot of your potential hourly away. A lot of your, I don't know. I know most tournament players, like they sell makeup, they sell markup, and they're staked and all that type of stuff like that. And I think some people take into account traveling in the markup price that they sell too. So do you sell a lot of packages, or what's your approach to that?
I was backed a long time ago, and I was backed when I won UK EPT Marbella.
Mm-hmm.
And then after a few months, I stuck with the team that were backing me. Then I went on my own, and then I played London. I came fourth, and I done well there and had enough money to be safe. And obviously, I'm a bit of a degen, so the money eventually did disappear, and now I'm backed again. So that's my story.
But so when you're in a back situation, do you get paid for your trips and stuff too, or do you pay that out of pocket yourself?
I'm lucky enough to get the majority of it on makeup. If not, then my backer will just give me money whenever I need it or whatever. But the majority of the time, I get the money on makeup. Okay,
it just seems like for some people out there, if they had to pay everything out of pocket, but they weren't making money and they were in makeup, they'd be extremely stressed out. It might make them not go play certain events. It's going to sort of fuck with their mind, and they're not going to be playing their A game because they got so many other thoughts on their mind.
I'm a great believer if you have the money and you want to back players. I backed a couple of players when I had a lot of money, but not at big stakes, at small stakes. And I always said to them, if you need the money to go and play a tournament, or if you need money to live, just ask me and I'll give you the money. Because I don't want somebody playing not their best poker because they've got no money in their pocket, or it's because they can't afford to go and play poker. That's one thing I think that should always come with a deal is expenses. I'm not saying it's if I've got money in my own pocket and totally afford it, I'm saying it probably should still come as a deal. Because if the backer does believe you're going to win the money, then it doesn't matter what goes on the makeup. It's always going to come back to them, or else they wouldn't be backing you in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the only way I can probably put it.
Interesting. I guess I only know a couple of people who I don't even know how much they still back anymore. I know Zima.
Backings went and dried up. It's not a game you want to be in.
Yeah, most people are selling individual packages these days, right? They sell individual tournaments, or that there's all these sites that UStake and Global Poker Link, and you have 2+2, and there's so many different things that make it really easy to sell one-off packages, and you're also not in makeup when you sell those packages too.
I think the best way to go about poker backing or buying, you shouldn't back any players unless it's a very good deal and they are a very good player. But when it comes to backing and buying, you should just look out for people selling packages at a markup that you think you're getting quite a bit of value, and then just buy. It might not work out the first few times, it might not work out for a while, but in the long run, if you think they're selling you value, you should buy because you're buying value. It's just whether or not the seller's happy and the buyer's happy. If both are happy and one thinks they're getting a better deal than the other, then that's their own personal view.
It sounds like from a GTO point of view, that'd be the proper approach, but I feel like that approach is probably not taking place in the actual peace
the
buying
world,
world these days.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I think there's got these. It seems like for the players, I mean, someone like yourself or anyone that's well known, they have these auction formats now where instead of setting a certain price to sell your action, well, now people can auction on it, and it seems like you're going to end up selling at a much better price for yourself in that scenario.
Yeah,
Maybe not as good for the buyer, but it seems like, it's easier to just get that one-off deal where someone puts you in everything. And you don't have to worry about selling action. You don't have to worry about collecting money, and you got to get stars. You got to get PayPal. You got to get Skrill. You got to do all this shit or cash in the places. So it's kind of like, do you want to deal with the makeup, or do you want to deal with these other things that come into play when you are just selling a bunch of packages to different events all the time?
100%. I would rather sell, me personally, I would rather sell at a smaller markup to one who buys all the action and saves me all the hassle of me picking up 2% here, 1% here, 5 here, 10 here. Like, mentally, like, you're just like, and time-wise, and it's time-consuming, and I'm saying, like, it's better just to pick up, like, rather than sell at 1, 2 online and getting all these 1s and 2s and 5s and 3s, sell at 1.18 to one person or 1.15 and sell the full 50% to them, and they'll send you the money in one go. It's hassle-free. And you've got someone there that will always buy the bulk action, especially if you do well in the short term for them.
How do you think the tournament world's changed in terms of these past couple of years with the way that backing's going and packages are going and everything? Does it seem like there's less players playing, or is there more play? Like, how do you feel like it's gone? Because I don't really play many tournaments, and most of my friends that I talk with a lot, they don't play tournaments either. So I'm not exactly sure of if the dynamics changed or if it's sort of the same as it's always been.
I'm not 100% sure, to be honest, because I thought to myself the poker world would have dried up by now, but the money's still there for some reason. Like, nothing numbers-wise hasn't dropped apart from online poker. Like, when it comes to the live poker, the volume, the amount of players for every individual buy-in of that level is not dropped that I can see. But the only thing that's dropped is online poker. It's like a Sunday, for instance, where the bigger 109 used to get 50k up top. Now it's only getting 30. The bigger 162 used to get 50k up top. Now it's only getting 33, 35. The warm-up used to always get 100, but only getting like 80, 85, 90. The million used to always get 200, but recently it's been getting 177. Like, that's the only change I've seen recently. But when it comes to live poker, the money's still there for some reason. The money's still in that circle.
That's interesting. I guess so there's a lot less players playing online and more players playing live. I guess probably a lot of those players can make money playing live. They can't make money playing online. So
obviously online's harder for sure, of course, because players are a lot more understanding of the game, of numbers, of all the usual stuff that you need to be a successful poker player. Whereas when live poker, there's a few examples that can be made where you don't need to be great at numbers. You don't need to be good, like, obviously, like, theoretically, fundamentally, you don't need to be great, but you can still money because you can give off that feeling that this guy doesn't want to get fucked with. This guy doesn't care. I'm not going to try to do this against him. You can look a guy in the eye and say, "Come at me," and the guy won't try to run that 3-barrel bluff against you because he knows that you're going to pick up on something, or maybe you're not going to give a fuck and just call. So that's a few of the dynamics you have at the that you do not have on the online felt, which is a massive edge for people who are good at reading players, obviously, live.
Yeah, I guess when you play these live events, you're playing much less of them, but usually bigger buy-ins. So if you do actually go deep or bink one of these, I mean, you're kind of set. You can sort of sell action for the next year or two just going off that one score.
Correct. All the time. That's basically what happened with me, obviously. You bank one big tournament, or you come fourth in a big tournament for like a big score, and you think you're the man, you think you're going to win all the money.
Right, exactly.
So like, a lot of people in my situation don't sell the action. They don't know how to work with the bankroll. They don't have bankroll management all of a sudden. they've only got 40 buy-ins for a 5K event, but they're just playing them right off. They're just playing them, not caring. You know what I mean? Obviously, 5-10 tournaments later, including expenses, including enjoying yourself, spending money, splashing money out, helping your friends. 5-10 tournaments later, you should have only lost like 5 or 10 buy-ins, but you've not lost 5 or 10 buy-ins. You've lost 10 or 20 because everything's calculated up with the expenses.
And also, I guess in that scenario too, you said about like you think you're the man, you think you're good. Well, if you're only playing, 15, less than 15 events or 20 events, or you're only playing like 15, 20, 5K plus buy-in events, I mean, it's really easy to go deep in two and then justify to yourself in later situations that, I just ran bad, or I got unlucky, or I made this or that. And where in reality, you're just not very good, but in your mind, you had good success. So it's just totally clouding your whole entire way that you see the game.
Yeah, for sure that happens. It happens all the time. People do win, and then they go on mad streaks where they lose a lot of money and they just believe they're running bad.
Right.
And brainwash themselves.
Oh, this is an interesting one. Aldo says Ludo once made a river hero call based on the kind of shoes the guy was wearing.
No. It's been like, this is totally trolling. I think I called a guy based on his shoes. No, Aldo's definitely trolling there. Yes.
Okay. It seemed like a something that might have happened with you. Maybe you're in some sick level 7 GTO tell pickup game here.
I'm saying you can obviously sit at a table with a guy that's wearing a Rolex watch, obviously an expensive suit. Everything's expensive, and you're river against him, and you decided you're going to bet flop, bet turn, and on good run-outs you're shoving river. But against this guy, he just looks at you and he just says, "Listen, I've got 20 million in the bank. I'm calling you." And then you can decide, okay, I'm going to just check give up. You can do stuff like that. Sure, you know what I mean?
That makes sense.
But I don't think you can look at a guy's shoes and say, "Oh, I'm going to bluff this guy. He's got a pair of Reeboks on or a pair of Nikes on." It's a bluff.
Maybe this is like some next level GTO. Maybe it's what Phil Ivey's been doing for years. He picks up on the way a cut of jeans is, or the way that a man's a sweatshirt fits on his body, and he knows how that certain type of guy plays his range on turn in this situation. Who knows, man? How does he? It could be, right? Who knows? I don't know.
Papi,
it could be. I'm speculating. Listen, I'm giving someone a fucking idea right now, man. This might be the next level. You need to get an edge. You got to start fucking looking outside the box.
And we all missed it. We better ask Phil and see what the score is.
Right. Maybe he's got some more ideas for different tells we can pick up on when we look at a man or a woman, or a woman, of course. No, hey, equal playing field, of course. Men and women are everywhere.
You like you like the old banter, don't you? You like to get the old wind-ups in there.
Me, no.
Get the Twitter fans flowing.
I don't want to make him angry. Listen, if I make him angry, I don't want to do it. Okay, so your buddy Claire Andrew, he said, ask about the bookies. Ladbrokes or William Hill?
That's makers from the UK. Just like betting shops.
Right.
He's just talking about me being a DJ in the past and going in and spending a lot of money in these shops.
So you just go in there and you bet a lot on football or something?
Horse racing, dog racing, football.
Why are you betting on horse racing and dog racing for?
Because that's what you do when you're a DJ.
Do you think that your DJ's getting better?
No, that's years ago. He's talking about something from like 8 years ago. 7-8 years ago.
Okay. Not anymore. No DJing anymore, though, right?
No DJing anymore. Definitely cannot. If I could afford it, I probably would be.
Oh, okay. So it's a function of you not being able to afford.
Yes.
That's interesting, man. Guys, we're gonna wrap it up here shortly. If you guys have any more questions, go ahead and let me know. Next podcast is probably going to be on Monday, I think, with Olivier Busquet, recent mixed martial arts.
Yeah, what do you think about the fight, Joey?
So I wrote about this on my website, onepokerlife.com. Shout out to me. And
you done it today? You done it earlier on today, didn't you?
I wrote it earlier today. Yeah,
I never got the chance to read it. Yeah.
Yeah, about the fight. Just because I don't know, I'm just trying to write more stuff and trying to make myself write. So that seemed to be pretty popular. So I wrote some thoughts about that. It seemed like Olivier bet way more money than advertised, because it was supposed to be 150K to 120K, and I'm pretty sure he bet a large amount of money more than that on the fight, and it seemed like he had a 22-pound weight advantage, and I mean, it seemed like he was very far ahead for how much time he put in. He allegedly only put in 6 months training into it. Whether he did anything beforehand, who knows? But it seemed like he definitely hustled JC in this fight for sure.
I think he did as well, to be honest. I'm saying but it's nobody's fault here. I'm saying it does look like a bit of a hustle, but JC was the one that went to her.
Right.
He advertised it, and JC responded.
Yeah, JC said something like, "I haven't trained in a while, but I'd be interested in potentially doing it."
Then obviously, it wasn't as if he just basically he flung the rod out there, and he kind of reeled someone in, and it was JC at the end of the rod.
Yeah. I mean, it was interesting to see all the poker community come together, and everyone was so excited about it. And I'm sure I know a lot of people bet a very large amount of money on it on both sides.
I seen Mercier had a lot of money on it.
Yeah, he allegedly had, I think, over maybe 100, 200,000, something like that, dollars on it.
Well, he said he essentially won this Sunday Million, so he must have had at least 200K on.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, I think people bet a very large amount on there. I think from what I've heard, it was between $1 to $3 million total.
On the total bets?
Total bets on both sides, yeah, of people that were making high stakes wagers, yeah.
That's a lot of money, yeah.
I know.
That's more money than most UFC fights, all combined together. I'm saying, not for the wagers outside of the game.
Right.
About what they're fighting and getting paid for in the ring.
Yeah, I mean, what they...
Yeah. I actually watched the fight. I watched the fight a few times now, and obviously the fight is not the best. I'm saying the two of them do get gassed out pretty quick.
Mm-hmm.
But you can just see the physical difference. I'm saying Olivier just had a massive edge. And a lot of people that I knew were wanting as much money on Liv as possible.
Right.
2 days prior to the fight, they were who's going to take bets? And they were try to get as much as possible. And I don't think, well, it looked to me as if they couldn't get the bets on, but they obviously did behind the scenes. They obviously done a lot of private mailing and direct mails between everyone to get bets on, but it didn't look to me as if a lot of people now wanted to bet for JC. I think it looked to me as if everyone now knew the bet was Olivier Busquet. So everyone now knew that he was, and it looked to me as if it was hard to get a bet on. I might be wrong, but that's the way it looked to me.
It seemed that way too. I was very confused exactly, because when I had Dan Coleman on the podcast last week, or I think, a little over a week ago, he talked about how he bet over 100K on Olivier's side, and he was talking about Olivier for, I think it was we were talking about for at least 5 to 15 minutes. And it seemed like after that, all the action I saw from people who I know watch the pod were on Olivier's side. They're trying to get as much action as they could on Liv's side. And I'm not exactly sure who was taking JC's side on this.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not sure as well, but this is the thing. Once the likes of Mercier won, and other well-known people that are very good with money, and they must have I'm not saying they have inside information or a lot of information. I'm saying they just need to see pictures or whatever, or they need to know how well he's training, how much of an advantage he's got. I'm saying once all the smart money starts coming on, where you've got players that have made so much money from poker that are now betting so much money on this opponent, that's when you've got to think to yourself, that guy's the bet. So everyone must be going there. So I think to myself, if everyone's going that side, who's staying on this side? Apart from the people who have already invested the money on JC's side, and obviously his friends and family, surely not anybody else outside the poker world are going to say, I think JC's the bet. Because everyone that's clever is going for Liv B, then common sense tells you, okay. I'm saying, I know a lot of people that wanted on Liv B 2-3 days before the fight. I'm saying, nobody, I don't know anyone that wanted on JC. Nobody at all.
Yeah, I know Hollywood Hexton had JC's side. So, I've never heard
Holland
Hollywood Haxton make a bad bet in his life.
So that's one person that I was surprised at. Then that's the first I've heard of it. But I'm saying, like, they should have done a poll 2 or 3 days. Did anybody do a poll 2 or 3 days prior to the fight?
No, they should have though. That'd have been a pretty good idea.
I would like to see what the majority.
No,
of people
well, this was
thought.
the chatter beforehand. Was that everyone on Twitter and 2+2? They were all saying, "Oh, the size isn't going to matter. JC's got the experience. There's only so much Liv could learn in that. If JC's as good at submitting or jiu-jitsu, I believe it was, as if he's as good as we think he is, well, he's going to have the advantage. The size doesn't matter." And now everyone's like, "Oh, the size matter." I mean, it's basically everyone's reversed the course, and now they're sort of going against that.
It's like Conor McGregor against Nate Diaz, obviously at the highest possible level. We're talking UFC,
Right.
obviously. Saying, like, a lot of people got kind of caught out here because Conor McGregor was like 1-4 before the fight, so everyone thought he was going to win.
Mhm.
For sure, they all thought he was going to win the fight, and obviously Nate Diaz can take a punch. He's not like all these other guys that Conor have been fighting at a smaller weight class.
Yeah, like 135 or whatever. Yeah.
Where when he does hit them, they can't take the punch as well as Nate Diaz can, because Nate Diaz has fought at a higher weight, and he's obviously been in the game for so long anyway. But I'm saying, like, it's kind of very similar to that. It did make a difference, obviously, because the more heavy you are, I think the better you can take a punch.
I mean, that's why they have fights at different weight classes, because
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
that's why they make it where it's when they have, as you go up, it starts being 10 pounds difference, and then you're in a different weight class, because the weight really does matter when you get to such a high level.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, totally agree. Yeah,
You don't fight at all, right? You don't see. I mean, you could fight. I don't know.
zero fight.
Zero fighting. Who's like the? You got a lot of friends in the YouTube chat over here. Is one of them tougher than the other people? Paul McTaggart's in the chat. You got Bjorn Gustafsson in the chat. You got Feraldo. You got Dez. You got the Claire woman
To be
man.
honest, all us Scottish boys that play poker, we're all pretty much good guys. We don't do anything. We're not aggressive. We don't go out there looking for fights or anything stupid. We all just have a good time. None of us are aggressive. None of us are ever been involved in any kind of stuff like that. So we're quite lucky to be brought up quite well.
Lee Shirley says, ask him why Sam Grafton calls him Rasputin.
Calls me Rasputin?
Like, allegedly, yeah, that's what Lee Shirley says.
That's the first I've heard of it.
Okay. If you had to recommend 2 people I should get on the podcast that I haven't had on the podcast yet, who do you recommend, Poppy?
Feraldo.
Okay.
Neil Farrell, yeah, definitely Neil Farrell. And do you know who would be good, actually? Kyle Maguire, Squire 1888. I'm saying, like, just for the banter, he would be good.
What's his last name?
Kyle Maguire.
All right, I gotta Google him.
Type in Squire 1888. I'm saying, get him on. A lot of people know him for his banter. So
Okay.
From the UK, so he would be good.
Yeah, I'm trying to get more UK people on, man.
Yeah, that's good. I've just promoted you very well there.
What do you say?
I've just promoted it for you. Perfect.
Exactly, man. Exactly. I'm trying to, I just want to meet more guys in the community, man. I want to find out who the real N Channing is on Pokerstars and get that guy on the podcast for sure.
I know who that is.
What's his real name?
Do you know what? I've met him before. I met him in Deauville. He went deep in the Deauville main event. So see if you go to Hendon Mob and you go to. Try to remember what year was it. He went deep in EPT main event Deauville. So like, and I can't remember what his name is, but when you look at the names, I'm going to go look myself. 2 seconds.
I always want to know who this guy was. This motherfucker N. Channing.
What they are? EPT. Like, we're gonna go and look for him.
I'm gonna find out before I die. 123 TMY says get some of the German stakers on. Would be really interesting. I don't think the German stakers want to talk much about their their staking of the entire high roller world. TMY. I don't think so.
It might be this guy here. Yep, it's him. I've got him here, right? But I'm just hoping I've not made a massive mistake here. It's a guy called Javid Abrahams.
Javid Abrahams? How do you spell his first name?
Yeah. Javed.
Abrahams?
Yeah. I'm saying, like, how did you not know it was him?
I don't never know who the fucking guy was.
Why didn't you Google Enchanting and then some sort of
never
forum?
Come up. It never came up. He's been playing on Stars since like 2011, 12 or something like that.
Right, if I'm wrong here and made a big mistake, I apologize. But I'm like, for some reason, I'm like 90% sure it's him.
He also got second in a PLO in the 10K PLO event in 2014. So it certainly could be him.
That definitely helps you then.
All right, cool. We got to find him. We're going to search him out. Aria Boo. Oh, do you know Aria Boo? Do you know who that is?
Who's that?
He's a former registered Irish account on Pokerstars. Aria Boo. He used to play a lot of high stakes stuff.
Remember, I've not put a lot of volume in. I've played like 50, 100, 25, 50 Zoom, but I don't know how many hands exactly I've played, but I've not put in a shitload of volume.
Okay. I thought you might have known people from around. You never know. Word travels fast. I think I know who it is anyway. I think he has a new screen name on Pokerstars now. So
who is it? Aria who?
Aria Boo. AEIRE_Abu.
I'm saying it's one of the names that you might notice when you see, but you're telling me.
Yeah, I think that's probably what it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go to the bathroom, guys. You have anything else we need to talk about, Ludo? Is that it? Wrap it up. We good? All right. People want to follow you on Twitter. They can follow you at it's got numbers in it. It's at Gravy Boat. GR4 VYBO 4T. Is that right? I don't know. I'm gonna put it in the fucking. I'll put it on the description. I'll put it in the YouTube description. I'll put it in the iTunes description. And you can check out my Twitter at JoinGrim1, and you'll be able to find a link to Ludo's Twitter. Anywhere else people can follow you if they want to ask any questions or any information, anything at all?
Just follow me on the hot $5.50 or the big $5.50.
Yeah,
every Monday night.
Right, Lou. You can find Ludo playing the hot $5.50 and the crazy $11.20 on Pokerstars every night. And if
you're really lucky, you'll find me at the 1 cent, 2 cent PLO cash games.
donating to the rake like everyone else is doing.
Yeah, I'm helping out Amaya. Yes.
All right, guys. I don't have any specific schedule coming up here for the next podcast. Should be sometime next week with Olivier Busquet, and then I'll have some other stuff I'll get lined up at some point in time. All the questions and comments on YouTube. Much love, guys. And Ludo, thank you for coming on the chat.
One last thing before I go. You're gonna have to ask him the question that everyone wants you to ask him.
What's that?
And you'll know the question at the time. I'm not going to say it just now.
Okay, I'll ask him the question. I know what it's about.
Yeah, anyway. See you around.
Right, I'll see you soon, buddy. I'll probably see you in a couple months in Vegas.
100%, yes.
Cool. All right, bud.
Okay, bye-bye.
Later. Guys on YouTube, peace out. Adios.